Shalom, and welcome to Psychology the Parsha for Parshat Chayei Sarah. In this week's Parsha, after the passing of Sarah, our matriarch, the mother of Isaac, and this took place after the Akedat Yitzchak, after the binding of Isaac, Avrohom realized that it's time to marry off his son. And he sends his servant, his faithful and dear disciple, Eliezer, to go find a wife for his son. Eliezer arrives in a strange city, and what does he do? Well, the Torah tells us that he prays to Hashem, and he says, God, make this happen. I want you to make this girl literally pop up, show up. I don't know where to begin. How am I going to know who this girl is, who the bride-to-be of my master's son, and not only bride-to-be, but a matriarch of Am Yisrael, of our people, who she's going to be? Well, we all know this. The girl that I'm going to ask for a little water, and she will respond, of course, sure, not only you will I give water to, but even to your camels. And as the sages point out, camels, they don't drink often, but they drink a lot. When they do drink, they drink a lot. And for a young girl as Rivka, even for a grown man, it's a big job to make to give the camels enough to drink. And then I'll know that this is the right one. And so it happened. It says, Vayihi terem kila ledaber, even before he finished his prayer, and there he sees Rivka coming out. Rivka caught his attention. And he comes up to her and he says, can you help me here? Can you give me something to drink? And she said, sure. Not only for you will I give, but also for your camels. He was excited. Immediately, as she finished delivering the drink, he pulls out jewelry and he gives it to her as a gift. This is already her first bridal gift. And then the rest of the story, how she introduces him to her parents, and he comes to the house, and her brother, and everything else, and how finally she makes it, and in this week's Parsha, Mazel Tov, Yitzchak gets married. Our second generation of patriarch and matriarch, their bond, their marriage is formed. This is a lesson for our lives, and especially in our times. You see, sadly, people make the mistake. People have this misconception that if somebody is one thing, then they're not going to be the other thing. And I'll explain. You see, too many people, especially in our times, are into vanity, into looks, into superfluous things like money and everything else. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying one doesn't need money to live a good, comfortable life. But I'm talking about this: people pursue a potential mate in their lives just because of looks, or exclusively because of their rank in society, and they don't look at the quality of the person. What do we see here, however? Eliezer was looking for the quality of the person. Is she kind? Is she a good person? What is her demeanor? So one would think, well, if somebody's into kindness, or in our case as Jews, well, they're into Torah, they're into mitzvot, perhaps, or maybe because of that, they will be totally not into anything else, whether it's good looks, whether it's enjoying also the good material things in life, which Hashem gave us. They should be enjoyed in a manner which is in accordance with the laws and the outlook of the Torah. And this teaches us a lesson. He didn't go run over to her and give her a nice verse. He didn't go over to her and say, wow, look at your kindness. He didn't go over to her and say, wow, what a great, beautiful person you are. Let's do this shidduch. He gave her jewelry. He gave her things that have a material worth and a material beauty. And this teaches us that really the ultimate person is where you can fuse both. You can bring both together. Of course, always in a manner that's consistent with halacha and hashkafa, Jewish outlook, and everything that is good with, in Hashem's eyes. But my point of this, to summarize, is that a person not only could, but must be a good Torah Jew, a person who follows mitzvot, who has good qualities, who has a good personality, who has a great disposition for doing kindness and helping others, and at the same time, he or she, especially if it's she, we're looking for a bride in this case, takes care of herself. She looks good. That's okay. That's okay to look into, is she a beautiful girl? Is she pretty? Is she tall? Is she short? But it shouldn't be exclusively that. When it's based just on that, it says, as King Solomon says, Sheker hachen vehevel hayofi. False is the vanity, is just the looks. It has to be Isha Yirat Hashem, a woman who is God-fearing. He tith halal. She's the one who is praiseworthy. When it both comes together, you have the most beautiful of situations, and yes, you have a true matriarch. Shalom.